Ubisoft re-revealed Skull and Bones using. I mean, it was like an hour-long presentation. If you watched their
It's
channel, they had a whole bunch of like devs that were talking. They did a cinematic trailer that I don't think we had seen before. Then they had a pretty lengthy, like 7-minute gameplay trailer that we
Mhm.
have seen because it leaked, and it was like the actual
mm,
full video. There might have been some B-roll and some details they changed, but when I watched it, I was like, "Yep, I remember this." It was just like in April when that leaked.
mhm.
Um, so I'm pretty sure it was exactly the same, maybe some tweaks. But they re-revealed this game. It's coming out November 8th. That is, I mean, that time frame, those 6 weeks are looking so jam-packed with games right
Yeah,
now.
they
Man,
really remember when there was nothing coming out for a
I
month. That was
know. There's
fun.
so much. Actually, really
game is coming
7
out day
weeks
before Ragnarok. Man, I'm gonna be playing this over Ragnarok like all
for real.
day. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
absolutely.
It's gonna be.
The
Come
story,
on,
the
man.
story is just gonna hook you. Um, so we learned a lot about this game.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to make a lot of comparisons to Sea of Thieves. There's not a single player through line story that they're trying to tell. There's just like a lot of world lore. There's quests you can take.
you
You
kind
can
of pick up
build your
quests.
infamy and
I
yeah,
think your
quests.
infamy. I think your infamy level like allows you different quest pools. You know, so
Yeah,
like as you get higher in infamy, you'll be able to pick better and cooler missions and stuff like that.
yeah,
You were bringing up there's just a grander sense of progression, and I always remember Sea of Thieves complainers always going, "Well, there is no progression in this
yeah.
game," and
Listen,
that seems to be like they're taking that criticism to heart in this game, and
yeah,
so like I feel like if you want that cool sword's probably gonna have +5 damage or whatever, you know, like there's
right.
gonna be tiers of weren't they talking about specs for like your crew members too? Was
Yeah,
that so
yeah.
like there's you know
And
there's
there's plans
a
for them
reason to
to
pay attention
add to that.
to mechanics in this game, which is I think something that Sea of Thieves is missing. So this could be that package deal of really cool pirate stuff that Sea of Thieves offers, but like maybe in a less cartoony you know type of vibe. So
And
I
they
don't know.
did
It's
say they are planning on adding features, especially when it comes to managing crew and that kind of stuff. So I think they're going to add even more depth to, that crew management aspect of it.
and they said service a lot. So this is just a
Mm.
game like Sea of Thieves just going to keep on
Yep.
growing and growing.
I think there's pluses and minuses here. I mean, you can make an argument that, hey, I actually just want a single player pirate RPG. I do too. And I still
Yeah,
want
same.
someone to make that. That's not what this
Yeah.
is going to be. I do think
Cool.
this has potential to be something that really does kind of get me addicted and get me playing way more hours than I planned. It also has potential to be like, oh, this just doesn't feel quite as fun. I'll just play Sea of Thieves if I get this itch again. I don't know what it's going to be.
I was gonna
I
say,
was
or you can,
shocked to hear it was $70. I was shocked.
yeah,
Shocked to
yeah.
hear.
It's
It
a
was
lot.
$70.
Well, that's why for me at least, it's a prime. I'm going to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus for that month.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah,
For $15, play this
Good.
game, and if it really truly hooks me, all right, maybe then I'll buy it. But
That makes
you know,
sense.
we'll see. That's assuming they continue to have Ubisoft Plus. Maybe they'll announce they're discontinuing it right before it comes out. I don't know. But yeah, I do think there's elements of this that look like it could be a lot of fun. It definitely looks like Black Flag, but current
Yeah.
gen, visuals without the ability to run around and fight. I'm not seeing anything that tells me you get to fight on land. You can walk around on land, but everything looked like it was from the boat.
And like the developers were saying, like one of the very first things you do is you wash up on shore and you have to start gathering materials. You have to create weapons and you have to hunt. So like,
It sounded like you
Hmm.
might do
what?
something.
Yeah.
don't
So
know.
like, how interactive is? I don't know. Yeah, I'm
Right.
still. I can't believe there's still questions. You know,
I know.
to be honest.
So
Yeah.
I watched them play it after the trailer, and I'm sure you guys watched some of that too. And the
Mhm.
boarding was all like just cinematic
Hmm.
cut scenes. Like you weren't controlling the boarding at all. It was depending on your crew and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm assuming you train your crew or something, level them up. I don't know what it is,
Sure,
but like
they get better at
yeah.
boarding.
So they did it. Like I didn't see any moments where it looked like he was hitting X to swing a
I
sword.
mean, if it's really
you know?
cinematic, I don't really. That's cool.
It's
Yeah.
just weird that, like, I mean, obviously they were having, I don't know, some kind of internal like trouble deciding of like, well, are we
Identity
gonna have this be
crisis.
like cutscenes, or is it gonna be that you just run off of your ship? Because I mean, when was this announced? Like 6-7 years ago?
I
Like
feel like it was a long time
it was a
ago.
while
It's been a
ago.
minute. Yeah.
So it's like clearly, and
I think
then
it was 2017 is last time we.
okay. So
Last
it's
time we
like
talked
they
about it, I think
basically
it was
just ended up with it being like some cutscene stuff, and it's like, well, that seems kind of like anticlimactic, right?
Mhm.
Like you'd want to run off your ship and be a pirate and do pirate stuff, you know?
I do. Yeah, the only place you're walking around are in towns and stuff like that. Like that's gonna
Yeah.
be kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But there seemed to be a big focus on like crafting and upgrading and collecting materials to craft upgrades to put on your ship and guns and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's mechanic rich for sure.
Have you,
and I hope they're simple. Like just so
I hope it's fun. I just hope it's
I
fun. You know what I mean?
I want it to be, because I know some crafting / survival games, like it gets really in the weeds of like, well,
Yes.
you really need actually pine wood to make this.
Right,
You can't use like just wood. It's just wood.
Is that pine or oak?
I don't need different off-shade color. Like Minecraft's even kind of like that. Where I'm like,
Yeah,
there's
it
like
is.
4 different colors of like, come on, everything's wood. Come on.
Kyle's wood.
So-
and
Everything's wood.
Yeah, right. Everything. I'm about all wood life matters. So.
Uh,
But yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
I hope it's simple.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be too like overly deep and complicated and stuff like that, where it really slows down the pacing. Because like I don't want the grind to get a ship to be crazy either. Like
because you start with a
like-
small ship and you build up to
yeah,
bigger stuff.
I
and
want
a fleet.
to.
They said you can have a fleet, which is cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I just want it to feel like I'm getting there, but also I know you can't get there immediately, because then
Right.
there's no, then you're in a Sea of Thieves issue where there's just like there's nothing to do. It did sound like they were saying you get to like a kingpin status, which works as this game's pirate legend status.
Yes.
It's like once you get the kingpin, like all sorts of new game mechanics like open up to you and stuff like that, much like in Sea of Thieves. So that's pretty cool, and again, it sounds like the rewards are going to be a little more meaningful in this game when compared to, Sea of Thieves. So
everything can be played solo. They do encourage co-op. They say it's more rewarding. I don't know if it's actually better rewards or they're just saying it's like in your heart more rewarding. I don't know what they meant by that.
Yeah.
But they do encourage co-op. But PvP is limited to optional servers. I didn't quite catch whether or not there's friendly fire. It doesn't seem like there is on most servers. So unless you want to go and battle with other players, that was one of the biggest drawbacks of Sea of Thieves. I thought was that I like the idea of being able to fight other characters if I want to, other players if I want to, but the idea of every other player you see, you have to be scared and run from them was like that added a level of anxiety that kept that game from being my zen place that I would just go play for hours. I would get frustrated because I would eventually run into some other players, and every single player in Sea of Thieves, all of them, tried to sink your ship, kill you, and take your stuff.
Well, it's a pirate game, not a snuggling game. So
it's a pirate game, but it wasn't. I wasn't.
Totally saying. I absolutely.
It was one of those things where after it happened, I always said that too. I actually said the same thing, Kyle. I was like, well, I guess we're all pirates, but I was still annoyed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, you said the right word. Like, I want that Zen experience, which that game could totally be. But
dude, like
that
the boat
anxiety,
and the water.
Boat comes in and starts really, messing with your groove. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And there should just be a toggle. Be like, I just want to like float around right now.
I just want to drink rum and sail a pirate ship.
They did add the ability to like you can raise a flag that essentially puts you on the map because you want to invite conflict, like you want to engage other ships, which is nice. Where it could be like, all right, maybe people will just go after them. No, they still go after any player boat.
No, of course, that's the case with any multiplayer game, right?
Yeah.
There's always the a-hole that wants to antagonize and.
Well, some people play for that in their minds. Are like, hey, everyone who's playing this wants the PvP, so I'm going to go engage, and this is what makes it fun. And I'm like, no, not everyone likes that. Actually, it's